Hey folks, I want you to think for a moment about how you're going to be deploying to the cloud, right? Picking your applications. What type of service are you going to be using? What type of model are you going to be using in order to get this done? Recognize that that is a huge change from an application that was being hosted locally to one that's being hosted in the cloud. That means that in order to effectively do this, you need a change management process. Right? You don't want this to just be shot from the hip. Let's move to the cloud, right? That's not going to be effective. So part of that is keeping everything documented, right? You don't want to do it. Nobody likes doing documentation, right? That's not the fun stuff. But incrementing, right, with change request forms, the process of moving to the cloud and moving a certain application to the cloud, the documentation that ensures that we are meeting with the guidelines, compliance, and regulations that might affect our industry. That's huge right there on the front end. We want to have a change request log and make sure that changes are going through an approval process. Because once we have a cloud provider, once you have a subscription with AWS, does everything get moved there? Do we just start rolling out new projects willy-nilly to our AWS or whatever other cloud environment that we're hosted with? No. We need to make sure that we're doing this systematically so that we're not overtaxing our account, paying more than we should be, that we are going through a process that may be very agile and nimble. You can have that process not have to go through 12 links in the chain of command, but you do need to make sure that it is logged, identified, and approved by someone. We need to be ensuring that we are looking at the aspects of impact to change, right? So are we going to be using resources at the same time? A lot of cloud content ends up piping through the network. What's that going to look like? And then making sure that the stakeholders that are associated with the different applications or services that you're focused on are really able to understand what the nature of the change is as you move to a cloud-based hosted environment, and that you're bringing in this idea of a change control board, that there are individuals who are responsible for ensuring that the before and after picture looks the way you want it to, right? We want to make sure that that after picture of having moved to the cloud looks sharp and really respects the changes that were desired in the first place, whether that's better performance, better security, lower total cost of ownership, whatever it might have been. We're not done, though. We also want to be ensuring that we have a workflow of change. One of the things that we're going to get a chance to do in this is, in many cases, move data from one place to another, move applications. That might be just changing which plugin we're using in the browser or in Outlook or in whatever software we're using in order to coordinate that. It might involve a big dump of data on a particular 0 day in order to execute the change. So we need to be focused on using the tools, using the graphical interfaces available to us through our and command line tools that might be available to script this process in order to ensure that step by step we're bringing ourselves forward. And with any workflow, there's an implication that there should be an option for a rollback, because sometimes your change does not work despite all of your planning and preparations. It doesn't work the way that you thought it would. So you need to be able to roll it back. And that's part of a workflow, is anticipating that so that you can have that, whether that's simply backups of what you have on premises or alternate solutions. Maybe it's a different provider to go to. There's some sort of rollback option available.